Alright, talk amongst yourselves. I got another camera to get in place. Right, now are you going to record this time? I want you there so that you get that picture of my book with my beautiful daughter. I need to move the microphone on this one. Okay, right. Okay. Takes so long to set up now. I didn't know what to do. I think it's safe to say that the lyrics here will never. It's a bit sharp, I don't mind that. Will never ever be tidy again. Everywhere. In the kitchen as well. There's a pile on a chair in the kitchen there that I wish I could show you. There's nothing that I'm proud of. Really, I shouldn't be doing this, but I should be resting up. Preserve the fingers, but music's all I got left, and it's being taken away from me as well. I couldn't figure out what to do, so I thought, and I found this. Too Many Rainy Days, an old favourite. I haven't done this one. I used to do this one. In concert all the time. Actually, I got a vision of myself today. Bags under my eyes, you'll see it in a second, I think. It's on one of these cue cards. Look at these bags there. That was this morning. Look at this. So I think we need to keep the glasses on all the time now. I'm going to try a new arrangement of it. I hope you can actually see me. I don't think you can. I don't want to talk about my disability too much, but people in England, please. I know you don't want to take my word for it because I've been making these videos for 2 years now, and you can play the guitar and you can talk. Yeah, and that's fine. Because I only turn the cameras on when I can do those things. You won't want to be here. You can see I'm bopping about now. I can no longer wear leg braces, so it's just why I'm wobbling about all the time now. Because my fingers are too disabled to tighten the leg braces up. Or more importantly, to take them, to undo them once they're on. At which point I just fall over like that. And you don't want to be here when the jaw seizes up, because I'm talking like the Frankenstein monster. So I only do these in these parts. But just in this week alone, in the UK, Google on the BBC website, you have, I was telling you about the NHS report that I had on my condition. And then fast forward 2 years, which is false. And then fast forward 2 years, and finally a wonderful lady called Charlotte got me a GP. She did it. Well, she was very clever, I guess. Tell them very little. Be a bit vague. Anyway, and before they could say no, it was like signed up. Had it been me, they would just struck me off the books, but because it was Charlotte, bless her. And the GP came out, this is maybe 2 months ago now, he saw me here. It was very bad, you know, wasted away for nothing, and I had no clothes on, so you could see it was everywhere. Stomach, just everywhere on the body, you know. Well, the whole body is just like this, water underneath the skin, all the muscle gone. He said, well, I'll go away and I'll look at the reports. I said, well, the reports are wrong. And he finally phoned up a month later. So I said, I've got the reports there. I'll send them to you. No, he wasn't going to check the reports at all. What he wanted to do was get hold of the other doctor, make sure they had their stories straight. Don't start thinking conspiracy theory. I will get to the point. And or come up with another option, okay? So he said, well, I'll need to check the other reports. Well, firstly, these are all new symptoms. Secondly, the report was made 3 frickin' years ago. So the guy, the neurologist, I mean, even if he'd been right 3 years ago, he doesn't know. You know, I could have cancer now, I could have leprosy, I could have mad heart disease, I could be a woman now. He doesn't know. It's 3 years out of date, okay? Think about this. If you have a car crash today, and there's a car crash, I'm pointing at the junction outside, you know, it's a notorious accident like what we have here. And there's a car crash there, and you phone up for the recovery vehicle, and the recovery vehicle comes out. There's the 2 cars smouldering or wrapped up, and the recovery vehicle comes out and he says, well, I've got some photographs of this crossroad taken 3 years ago, and no accident then, so I'll be off. It was just happened now. These are doctors paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. Don't let them talk about the salary, because the rest of it is made up in their pension and their expenses. And if they didn't have the NHS stuff, I'm looking at my arm now, they wouldn't get all their private work as well, you know, that they like to do. I don't know if I really want to talk about this too much, but anyway, I offered him the reports which were there, and he didn't want them, didn't come back. When he came back on the telephone, he said, well, I've seen the reports now, and I said, this guy's an idiot. And he said, well, I've seen the report and it's backed up. And I said, but here's the thing. I recorded the meeting that report was made at, and the audio recording, which I've now put online, bears nothing at all to what he says in his letter. Nonetheless, that's what's in the report, he said, so that's it. Nothing wrong with it. And I'll put you through to the neurologist at Bristol. That's a 9-month waiting list, so it's a death sentence, you know. There's a hospital 5 minutes away, but no. So that's my story there, and you can believe it or not, I care not one way or the other. But 2 weeks ago, well, at the beginning of March, the actual NHS Ombudsman was on the front page of The Guardian. Thank you, conservative newspapers, which didn't want to report it, buried it away. And the NHS Ombudsman has said, avoidable deaths mounting up, a culture of corruption and cover-up, reports falsified, reports missing when accidents have happened, when negligence happened, when patients have died. That's the actual NHS Ombudsman. And everyone's looking at conspiracy theories and going, well, why are they targeted? Well, why are you so important they would do this? I'm not, and neither are you. Just names on a bit of paper. It's just not about me, and it's not about you, and it's not about Fred, and it's not about Bill, and it's not about Jenny, it's not about your next door neighbour. It's about their pension. So when all these doctors bleat about their low wages, they forget that they made a deal to have a huge pension. Nice tax-free pension at the end. You're talking £1 million, most average. You only got to look at, who's that notorious serial killer, Harold Shipman. No one noticed 450 people died. None of the other doctors at his practice noticed that Harold had the Undertaker on speed dial for all those years. Oh, I've lost 2 unexpectedly this year. Oh, that's really bad luck. How about you? I've lost 3 unexpectedly this year. Oh, it's terrible. What about Harold? I've lost 112 unexpectedly this year. Oh, bad luck, Harold. You then followed that up 2 days later, and on the BBC, I don't want to mention a name, but a hideous, vile creature that murdered babies. She was investigated after, I think, the first 3. And a doctor tipped her off that she was being investigated over these babies' deaths. So, of course, things went missing. Go back to the first bit about the reports. I'll come back to the other part. And then back to work she goes, and more babies died. And it's now come out in this last week that 3 whistleblowers at that hospital who raised concerns about this this vermin, this Hades hound, and about the deaths of these babies. Hospital forced those people who raised concerns to write this scum a letter of apology and apologise for making those allegations about her. How must they feel now? Well, if she goes to murder babies. I was saying, yeah, so this is it. If they make a mistake, no one is going to lose £1 million pension for you or me or anyone else, okay? And anyone who thinks it's not all integrated and corrupt and they don't back each other up, then you weren't in London in the early 80s, you don't know what the Met is. And it's in the Met and it's in the NHS and it's any of these organisations, they all got each other's backs. When was the last time you heard of a solicitor suing a solicitor? I've researched this. I cannot find one example of a doctor giving evidence against another doctor in a negligence case. Not in the history of the NHS. And this morning, there's this brave young boy in a wheelchair with this tube there. This is on the BBC website again. And his parents have had to crowdfund to raise money for his care. His condition deteriorated because he didn't get the correct treatment on the correct day, the correct answers. Whenever I see these doctors, these junior doctors out on strike with their placards saying, do you think £18 an hour is enough? I want to get this boy in his wheelchair there. And I want to get a pensioner who's lived through 15 recessions if they're 65. And they've been waiting 2 years for a hip operation. And I want to get some people whose parents died because people with COVID were sent home from a hospital into the care home where they were too and took them out. And I get these people that have had their cancer treatment delayed and now it's gone too late. And I want to guess, so as these doctors are all standing there going, do you think £18 an hour is fair? And I want to get these people here holding up placards saying, do you think that an 8 million waiting list is fair? How did the waiting list get so long? Because the doctors weren't good enough at their job. Why do you think 4 million people suddenly got ill overnight? It's the same people going back in and back in and back in again, pushing everyone else further down the pile. And now I'm going to sing Too Many Rainy Days. Too many rainy days. Too many lonely nights. Too many times when no one calls. Too many one-act plays. Too many rainy days. I hear so many lies. I never hear I love yous when no one's thinking of you. The darkness always stays. Too many rainy days. And all my luck is bad, and memories hurt the most. Every heartache left a ghost, and I can't change time's ways. Too many rainy days. And where are all my friends who left me on my own to face each tortured night alone? The black flag and the grave Too many rainy days. Too many rainy days. So many chances spilled. From each wound I bleed guilt. See how the answer lays. Too many rainy days. There. Too many rainy days, and a little bit of speech as well. As I say, it makes no difference to me, but you have to stand up for yourselves as a nation. You've got to stop just letting these people spit in your mouth and making you swallow it, and then you saying thank you afterwards. They work for you. They work for you. But they're not working for you. And people are dying and people are suffering. And you don't have the public services because so many people are unable to work and unable to pay the taxes. You need to do something. You need to badger these people. And all the time, this is a true story. I don't care if you believe me or not, it's a true story. And it was November 22. I lose all track of the years, it's 24 now. Goodness me. You must excuse me, I'm just in a bit of a somber mood here. My children were due to call me today and the call never came through. I expect they've been banned from doing it again. Just that, my song As You So Shady, you will tell you all about it, I'm not for myself, but when the call doesn't come, your heart sinks, you're really okay, My son was in hospital just last week, 11 years old, alive. Anyway, and again, no one wants to do anything. An attendance rate of less than 80%, and both of them at two different schools going sick at exactly the same time, getting well at the same time, and no one wants to take my phone calls. My son's school actually told me I don't exist. I'm not on the paperwork. I said I've got a photograph of da-da-da-da. Oh well, I can't take it. It doesn't matter if I'm his father, if I'm Fred the Milkman. I want to show you something that's raising a concern. Anyway. As I say, these things, it's too late for me now. But just believe your own eyes. Go back to my first videos of a couple of years ago and see what I look like. How thick I was. You can probably see me wearing the same shirt. Now, there's nothing left of me. But even though I'm now registered with a GP for the first time, no GP would touch me. As soon as I started negligence proceedings, the NHS went like that, They're like Batman. Isn't that Batman movie? I can't kill you, but I don't have to save you. And that's how they do it. I just leave you go, I'm not the first, not the last, As I say. Why are you creaking? I think Patrick's about to run on the other one. When babies have been murdered and people didn't want to look and investigate, their buddies, babies murdered. At least I'm 62, I had a life before this disease struck me down, a damn good one. If you told me when I was 20 that I'd make 62, I'd laughed in your face. I just rolled around the floor. The worst twist of fate is when my son came along when I was 52. I had a big sign up on the laptop there where I used to work. And it said, "It ain't worth a heart attack. Walk away and talk to your son." Because emails and stuff, you know, come through and wind you up and everything, you know. I was starting an internet business at the time, you know. So just as soon as I started looking after myself, I got struck down by this disease. Well, this is the thing, when they say you don't have motor neuron disease, correct, it's the disorder, it's the trauma version. But as I keep saying to them, it doesn't matter if you call it MND, FMND, or if you call it Albert. Make it stop, but they can't. They can't do anything without shining a light on these other idiots that misdiagnosed me. The report, I didn't say that, but the report that this doctor's saying, well, it says you don't have this, and I've seen the report. But the report says, well, first of all, it says it was caused by the trauma from the divorce and losing his children. But we got video of it. It started 5 years before then. We couldn't work out why. My body started wasting away, and why I couldn't jog 4 miles a morning. I'm just barely walking up the top of the road now. I went from doing 300 sit-ups a day to not being able to do any after a while. So we have video evidence that that was wrong. And it said I expect him to improve. As you can see in the videos, I've wasted away to nothing before the eyes of the NHS. And not a millisecond of treatment. I'm going to sing this song again. Too late for me, but don't make it too late for your children. Okay? You weren't expecting that, were you?